Welcome to Pia's Travel in Austria in 2016. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Pia Dina. Today, I will be sharing with you Pia's travel in Austria in 2016. This is a continuation of Pia's travel in Europe 2016. After touring the Budapest in Hungary, the day starts with a short journey to another Europe's grand capital, Vienna, where we're able to explore the Austrian city's resplendent palaces, striking churches, and prestigious art museum. Our adventure in Vienna begins at one of the city's most popular attractions, Schönbrunn Palace, the Rococo-style summer residence of the Hofburg dynasty, rulers of the Europe and the Church for many decades. The name Schönbrunn, meaning beautiful spring, has its roots in an artesian well from which water was consumed by the court. The 1,441-room Rococo Palace is one of the most important architectural, cultural, and historic monuments in the country. The history of the palace and its vast gardens spans over 300 years, reflecting the changing tastes, interests, and aspirations of the successive Habsburg monarchs. It has been a major tourist attraction since the mid-1950s. We also visited many famous buildings, including the City Hall, the Austrian Parliament, Hofburg Palace, and the Heroes Square. We also visited St. Stephen's Cathedral and strolled Stad Park. We also checked the Wiener Staatsoper or Opera House. The Hofburg Palace is the official residence of every Austrian ruler since 1275. The Hofburg is perhaps the most historically significant of Vienna's palaces, the official seat of the Austrian president. This sprawling complex consists of numerous buildings reflecting various periods, including architectural flourishes from the Gothic, Renaissance, Baroque, and the Rococo movements. Vienna's most important Gothic edifice and the Cathedral Church of the Archbishop since 1722, St. Stephen's Cathedral, or Stephansdom, sits in the historic center of Vienna. The original 12th century Romanesque church was replaced by a late Romanesque one in the 13th century, the remains of which are the massive gate and the Hetten Towers. I also visited another Vienna's most popular attractions, Belvedere Palace. Belvedere Palace is two splendid Baroque buildings, the Lower Belvedere and the Upper Belvedere. Highlights of the Upper Palace included the ground floor hall with its statues and the ceremonial staircase with its rich stucco relief and frescoes. You can also see the Marble Hall, a stunning two-story hall with numerous period sculptures, paintings, and ceiling frescoes. The Lower Palace also boasts a Marble Hall, this one noted for its oval plaster medallions and rich ceiling fresco, as well as the Marble Gallery built to house a collection of historic statues. The Vienna State Opera House is one of the world's largest and most splendid theaters. It has hosted many of the world's most prominent composers, conductors, soloists, and dancers. Operatic and ballet performances are staged at least 300 times a year, fueled by an obsession with music that goes as far as back as 1625 when the first Viennese court opera was performed. Vienna City Hall is an impressive neo-Gothic building that served as the city's administrative center. Remarkable for its size, it occupies nearly 14,000 square meters of the former parade ground. This attractive building was completed in 1883 and it is notable for the most famous rastrum on top of its 98-meter high tower, a banner carrying iron figure presented to the city as a gift from its master blacksmiths. While in Vienna, you can also visit the following: Vienna Zoo, the Riding School, the Prater and the Giant Ferris Wheel, Kunsthistorisches Museum and Maria Theresienplatz, Karlkirche, the Albertina, the Natural History Museum, Hans-Schwarz's House, the Imperial Crypt and the Capuchin Church, the Museum Quarter, Peterskirche, the famous Demel, Vienna's ultimate cafe, the Dunatorium or the Danube Tower, Dunisel, the Danube Island, the Austrian Parliament Building, Kornerstrasse and the Donau Fountain, Bürgertheater Theater, Austria's National Theater, the Museum of Military History, the Franciscan Church St. Jerome, the Jewish Museum and Juden's Holocaust Memorial, the Sigmund Freud Museum. Since I stayed in Vienna for another 2 extra days, I joined the hop-on and hop-off Royal 48 Hours. This is to discover Vienna's many sides with the royal ticket. I was able to explore the magnificent Ringstraße with the hop-on and hop-off tour. Along the Ringstraße, you find the most important sites of Vienna. For example, the impressive State Opera, from where you can stroll through the pedestrian zone of the Kornerstraße to the famous St. Stephen's Cathedral. A special highlight is the Grand Hofburg Palace, which takes you back to the imperial times. Visit the residence of the former emperor and see the Sisi Museum too. In the Imperial Treasury, you can admire the crown of the Holy Roman Empire and many other precious items. Also directly located at the Ringstraße is the beautiful building of the Constitution Museum Vienna. It is the home of the priceless art treasures, such as the world's largest collection of Bruegel paintings. Other highlights of this popular hop-on and hop-off tour are the Orleans, Austrian Parliament, the City Hall, and the National Theater. In the yellow line of the hop-on and hop-off tour, you will be able to explore Schönbrunn and Belvedere Palace. The yellow line gets you to Schönbrunn Palace, the most popular tourist attraction in Austria and a World Heritage Site. You'll be able to take a look at the imperial private apartments, stroll through the palace gardens, or you take your kids to the nearby zoo. And other culturally interesting stop on this hop-on and hop-off bus tour is the Belvedere Palace, the former summer residence of the Prince Eugene of Savoy, in which the world-famous painting The Kiss by Gustav Klimt is exhibited. The Schönbrunn stop takes you to some of the stops of the Viennese walls, a self-guided tour. The blue line of the hop-on hop-off tour features highlights along the Danube. This hop-on and hop-off tour leads you, among the other things, to the Kunsthaus Wien, home of the Hans-Schwarz's Museum. It houses permanent exhibitions of the surrealistic works of the artist Friedrich Hans-Schwarz. On the next day, as part of the Blue Line of GoEuGo tour from Vienna, we went to another Austrian gem, Mondsee. Mondsee is a town located on the shore of the Lake Mondsee. The town is home to the historic medieval Mondsee Abbey. The cloister church was used for the site of the wedding in The Sound of Music. We also toured Salzburg. Salzburg is literally Salt Fortress. It's the capital city of the state of Salzburg and the fourth largest city in Austria. Salzburg Historic Center is renowned for its Baroque architecture and is one of the best preserved city centers north of the Alps, with 27 churches. It was listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1996. The city has 3 universities and a large population of students. Tourists also visit Salzburg to tour the historic center and the scenic alpine surroundings. Salzburg was the birthplace of the 18th century composer Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Because of its history, culture, and attractions, Salzburg has been labeled Austria's most inspiring city. Salzburg is a tourist favorite, with the number of visitors outnumbering locals by a large margin in peak times. In addition to Mozart's birthplace, from Vienna, you can have the Salzburg's day trip. It is a 13-hour tour that hits all the highlights, with a scenic drive through the Alps, a stop at Lake Muncie, a walking tour of Salzburg Old Town, and a chance to see the Schönbrunn Palace, where portions of The Sound of Music were filmed. The tour is led by a professional guide who can point out the highlights in history, especially as it relates to Mozart and other composers. Overall, I enjoyed touring Vienna and Salzburg. That's why I availed the GoEuGo tour, and I stayed 2 extra days in Vienna to explore it by myself, but I ended up joining the hop-on and hop-off tour so that it will save my time and transport. Cities in the Europe never fails to amaze me, and so the Vienna as well. I was amazed with a lot of Vienna's tourist attractions, the palaces, the museum, the architectural, and of course the history. I hope you enjoyed this video, Reminiscing Pia's Travel in Vienna, Austria in 2016, a compilation of my photos that showcase the beauty of Vienna and Salzburg. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye! Please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for notification. Like, comment, and share.